Hey everyone, welcome back to Reading with Tatiana. Today I'm doing a one-shot booktube tag. Haven't done one in a while, but if you're watching this right now, I'm probably in Italy on my vacation, so I'm just doing a bunch of batch filming so I have a video once a week, which is my goal for my booktube channel. So this one is called the Personal Rules for Reading tag. As I'm doing a one-shot, don't mind me looking at my screen. This tag, I was tagged by Spines and Spoilers a long time ago. I'll link their channel down below. And this tag was created by This Reading Life MJ. You probably know her. I feel like she is now a cornerstone of the booktube community. And she created this tag also a while ago. And I'll link her original tag down below in the description. So there are 14 questions and one prompt to tag two other booktubers. So I'll start with number 1. The first one is, do you strive to read every day? If yes, do you do anything different special to make time in your day? If no, why not? So I would say that barring the last 2 weeks, because it's summer, it's 30 degrees Celsius out every day, it's just freaking beautiful outside, I do strive to read every day. I do this by trying to go to bed a bit earlier than my time I want to go to sleep. At least read a few chapters, usually leads to half an hour of reading, and that's how I try to allocate time to read every day. Other thing I try to do too is, I'm fortunate that my job, I'm off at 3:30 p.m. I do start a bit earlier, but which that really means is a lot of my social plans are a bit later, like 5 p.m. So I try to read a bit before, between work and before I meet someone, or before my evening starts. Number 2 is, do you always stay within your favorite genres, or do you experiment with different genres and subgenres? This one, for me, is I obviously experiment with different genres. I'm part of a few different book clubs, so I usually just let people pick what they want to in the book clubs, and it's always more fun when it's something that you don't really read, so you don't always agree with each other. So yeah, I definitely experiment with different genres because I'm in a bunch of different book clubs. And also for myself, I usually go to a library and just go to see on the shelves and just kind of pick by cover and by title and just seeing how I feel. Sometimes I even pick books from the library. I don't read the synopsis. I just pick it based on the title. So if you're a book cover designer, if you have an eye-catching book, I'm going to read it. Number 3 is, do you DNF, which means do not finish. And the answer is no. I have a goal that I always push through a book no matter what, because even if 90% of the book sucks, the last 10% might have a redemption arc or a redemption quality of this book. So I always finish it, even if I do not want to and I don't enjoy it, and even if I've been burned so many times. Number 4, do you like to read challenging books? If so, what draws you to them? If not, why do you avoid them? So I feel this is obviously very subjective. For me, a challenging book would be a very dry book. So probably a book for me, any book that's written a long time ago, or very non-fiction that's very historic based or history, just a textbook, would be challenging for me. And I would say that if not, it does not draw me to them. I actively do try to avoid them because reading for me, I'm not studying, I'm not trying to prove myself to be something that I'm not. So if it's too challenging for me, I'm not going to read it. Number 5 is, do you read books that have been banned by local authorities? I live in Canada right now, and I don't know of any books that have been banned, but I have read books that have been banned in other countries. For example, Animal Farm. I have seen a trend where people do actively try to read books that they are banned in their local state in the US, and I kind of like that trend. So I think I will proactively try to read books that have been banned in other places, maybe similar to me. I'm sure there are books banned in Canada, I just can't think of any right now. Number 6 is, do you read books by authors whose views you disagree with? Yes, I read Ender's Game, Orson Card Scott, whatever his name is, and I know he has. When I posted my review on his book Ender's Game, people were reactive and commented how they would not support him because of his views that are a bit bigoted and backwards, and obviously I think he's religious, Mormon or something. And for me, doesn't matter. Unless his book or their book, the author is spewing their beliefs and their values against something that I believe in, then maybe I wouldn't read that piece of work. But if they're reading a fictional book, or if they wrote a fictional book or something that's totally doesn't have reviews explicitly, I'm gonna read it. It doesn't really matter to me. Also, maybe if they did write a book that shared their views and I don't agree with it, I'm still gonna read it because I'm always to understand or seek to understand how people got to their opinions or their views and that kind of stuff. So no, I'm not opposed to reading authors whose views I disagree with. I mean, I listen to Michael Jackson. I consume art from Picasso. So I mean, if I consume things by people who I agree with, that'd be a really small scope of stuff I can consume. Number 7, do you clear your mind of preconceptions, bias before you start a new book? Yes. Every book, I'm gonna go in fresh. I'm here to have my views change. I clear my mind. I don't read it and be like, I disagree with this from the start. Number 8 is, do you recommend books if you end up liking them, and what form does that recommendation take? Yes, my Booktube channel, my Instagram account, my personal Instagram account, I would do like a wrap up or a year-end wrap up of my top 10 books. So yes, books I like, I definitely share. And also, just casually talking to friends in real life. When people ask like, what have you been up to, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. It happens very naturally. Number 9, or what was the last book you recommended? Was there a specific reason? Do people come to you for book recommendations? If you watch my channel the past few months, my top book of the year so far, and that I'm going to talk about again and again, is Peach Blossom Spring by Melissa Fu. This book was so freaking good. I read it in like basically 1.5 sittings, and I cried. I can't believe it. It was so great. I talked about it to everyone that I know that likes books, and yeah, people do come to me for book recommendations as well. Although I don't know if they come to me because they want to see my recommendation, or it's just kind of like a conversation starter because they know I enjoy talking about books. Number 10 is, what book have you had the most success recommending? For this one was probably last year, Beast of a Little Land by, I forgot her name now. She's a Korean author, and she was just really great. I recommended it to my friends who I know also enjoy historical fiction. Some of you guys on Booktube read that book and you said you really enjoyed it, so I think that was very successful. Number 11 is, do you take notes or annotate when you read? If so, what form does it take? I do not actively annotate my books I read because they're library books, but I do take notes if there's a quote or a message or something that really stuck out with me. I type in my phone, which I then transfer to my Google Doc for when I film my Booktube content. Number 12 is, how many books are in your personal library and how do you organize your books? I am a huge library reader, so I maybe on my shelf have maybe 5 personal books, and they're just books because someone was like, hey, I got this book and I thought of you, do you want to read it? I'll make sure, put it on my shelf. But as soon as I'm done with reading it, I'm going to either donate it or pass it off to someone else. So there is no personal library. Number 13 is, how do you read? Do you read books in another language other than your own? Unfortunately, no. My only language that I'm proficient in reading, writing, speaking, and fully is English. I can converse pretty fluently in Cantonese, but I cannot, for the life of me, read Cantonese. Number 14 is, do you read one book or multiple books at a time? So I do read multiple books at a time. It just depends on the genre. I can read fiction and non-fiction at the same time, or like fiction and a memoir biography, but I would never read like multiple fiction books at the same time. I would be open to reading multiple non-fiction books, but it hasn't happened yet. And the last one, number 15, is tag 2 people. So I'm going to tag 2 people that I interact with the most on Booktube. Even though I've been kind of MIA, I'm sorry, in the sphere of Booktube. So my 2 tags is Alex Black Reads and Tangible Reads. Thank you for always supporting my content, even though I have been very MIA. And please tag me. I look forward to watching your tags. Thanks for watching to the end of this one-shot Booktube tag. If you want to do this tag, feel free, even though I didn't tag you, and please tag me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.